I need you all to be very still, okay? No, hey, you, there in the back. I saw you. You moved. All right, everyone, please, just do not move a muscle. Really important. You see, this is the most delicate of the construction arts right here. This is the sport of kings. In fact, what you were watching me do right now is the most ancient, the most noble, the most honorable of disciplines, the discipline of tower building. I, Lowry Brown, come from a long line of tower builders. My great-grandfather, Mordecai Brown, was a Grand Tower Master 3rd degree, and my grandfather, Bricklayer Brown, was the tower building champion of Comer Z. Garrett Middle School, 3 years running. And so I stack, most deliberately, most delicately, so that I may follow in their hallowed footsteps. No. Sluggo. You know, in the world of every master tower builder, there is a troublemaker like Sluggo. You know there are troublemakers in the Bible too? Yeah, I'm serious. In fact, one of the best stories about how to deal with troublemakers, people who like to cause problems, can be found in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 6. And that's what we're going to study today. So let's start from the beginning. I'm Lowry Brown, and this is Explore the Bible on Location. This is the story of 3 troublemakers, Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem, and one master tower builder named Nehemiah. Oh, okay, Nehemiah wasn't actually a master tower builder, but he was in charge of a really important construction project. See, the Israelites, God's chosen people, had been forced to live in another country for a really long time. But in 538 BC, King Cyrus of Persia allowed them to go back home. And that's good. But the problem was, their homes were nothing but rubble. And that's bad. So Nehemiah led the people to start rebuilding Jerusalem, their most important city. And that's where our story picks up in Nehemiah chapter 6. So take it from a master tower builder like myself. Construction work is hard work. Oh. And when someone shows up and they don't want you to actually finish your work, construction work, well, it can become almost impossible work. And that's what happened to Nehemiah. See, Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem were the Israelites' enemies, and they didn't want Jerusalem rebuilt. So when they saw the walls of the city going back up, Sanballat and Geshem sent Nehemiah a message. It said, "Hey bud, let's talk." Now, of course, Nehemiah's enemies didn't really want to talk. They wanted to make the Israelites stop working. So when Nehemiah told them no, he was too busy doing God's work, they just resent the same message again and again and again. The last time they sent it, they even tried to start a nasty rumor. They said that the Israelites were going to revolt and make Nehemiah their king, which was, of course, silly. But Nehemiah knew what they were up to, and his answer was still the same. "Sorry guys, can't meet, too busy." That sounds pretty simple, right? Just keep on working and don't pay attention to what other people say or do. Sluggo. Of course, it's not always that simple. Even so, Nehemiah and the Jews just kept on building. And what's even more important is that after Sanballat sent his last message, the Bible tells us that Nehemiah prayed to God and asked for strength, which is a great idea because that's when Sanballat and Tobiah really turned up the heat. They paid one of God's chosen people, a man named Shemaiah, to scare Nehemiah. He tried to get Nehemiah to believe people were trying to kill him, but Nehemiah didn't fall for that either. He and the Israelites just kept praying and working, and soon the construction was done. When everyone saw that the Israelites were able to finish their work in spite of all the people who tried to stop them, well, a lot of their enemies got really scared. Yeah, it's because they realized that it was God who had helped the Israelites. Now, Tobiah still tried to scare the Israelites, but Nehemiah just kept on doing what he'd always done. He prayed, and then he and his people followed after God. And God took care of Nehemiah and the Israelites. Yeah. Now, just like with Nehemiah, sometimes there are going to be people who want to stop us from following after God. Yeah. But just remember, Jesus died to save us from our sins, the sins that separate us from God. And we have to live in a way that shows people this. That's the kind of work God has given us. So no matter what the challenge is, we always need to pray and follow after God. Now, it's not going to be easy, but God will always be there to help us, no matter what. So, no matter what the challenge is, we need to pray and follow after God. It's not always going to be easy, but God will always be there to help us, no matter what. And that's the lesson that we learn in Nehemiah chapter 6. My name's Lowry Brown, and this is Explore the Bible on Location.